Hello, everybody. From Hemingford, Quebec, I'm David Smith, Data Smith on Lichess, and I'm recording this on a fabulous, fabulous fall day here in Hemingford. And honestly, wondering what I'm doing inside recording this when I could be outside enjoying the sun. But soon enough. So this is the first of our video round reports of the season, and it is brought to you by quotes from Bobby Fischer, which we will get to in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, just a couple of housekeeping reminders. The 29th of October is our simultaneous event in which you will get the chance, or 10 of you will get the chance to play International Master Dave Ross in a simultaneous exhibition. We will be streaming the event on some platform or other, and we'll get you the details of that later. And so even if you're not playing, you'll have the chance to watch and listen to comments or comment yourself. We should have a lot of fun with that. So keep that date in mind, 29th October, 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time in North America, and 8 o'clock in the evening UTC. The other event coming up a little bit sooner is on the 7th of October. I guess that would be round 3 of the Champions League. So far, a number of Hemingford Chess Club members have participated, and I think as a team, we're in 3rd place or something at this point. Fairly far behind the leaders, but if we get enough participants, there's nothing that says we can't catch the leaders and at least give a good showing for the team. I'm sorry to say that these events are held the first Saturday of every month, and I never seem to be available to play, so maybe that's a good thing for the team, who knows. All right, let's talk about the tournament. We've got some unfortunate news, and that's that we've lost, up to now, 3 players of the 36 original participants. In Section A, the effect is largest, where we've actually lost 2 out of 8 players. This is a real drag, obviously, for everybody concerned, because you go into the tournament expecting to have a certain number of games against a certain level of competition, and then people just disappear. What can I say? It's an unfortunate feature, I guess, of online chess. We've done everything we can to minimize how much this happens, but we're not invulnerable to it. So there you go. We've lost 2 in Section A. The result is, given that neither of those players played half of their games, all of their previous results have been reversed. And so the standings in Section A have 4 players all tied for first place with 1.5 points after 3 rounds. In other sections, we lost, let's see, in I believe Section C, that's right. Yeah, we lost another player, our Glenn Chess, who basically just disappeared. So don't worry, he's been blacklisted. He won't show up in a future tournament. Lower down the table, in Section E and Section G, and Section F as well, for that matter, 3 full rounds have been completed, all the games played. In Section E and G, both have clear leaders. In Section E, Chris won all 3 of his games so far, and Tom all 3 of his games in Section G. What that means, of course, is that for the second half of the tournament, those are the people to beat, and each of them have a target painted on their back at this point, I would expect. Good luck to you all. Okay, so now to some chess content. The game in front of you is a game that was played yesterday in Section B between Danielle and Mark. And it's a Sicilian Dragon, which is the reason that Bobby Fischer is sponsoring today's broadcast. Fischer had a famous quote in which he described how to beat the dragon. He said, "Pry open the H file, sack, mate." That's all there is to it. Very, very simple, but as we'll see, it's maybe not quite as simple as we thought. After 14 moves, we reach the position that you're looking at here on the board. which is a pretty standard looking Yugoslav attack in the dragon. And you don't actually need Bobby Fischer's advice to tell you that as white, the strategy has got to be a kingside pawn storm to try and break up the black king's position. And in fact, over the next 6 moves, white moves only pawns in an effort to break up the black position. And we'll see what happens here. I'm not going to go into the details of each of these moves, of course. Okay, so now we've reached a position where white has run out of pawn moves on the king side. What has happened? Yes, indeed, the black king position is a little bit more vulnerable, or apparently more vulnerable. But on the other hand, the H-file that Bobby Fischer was so enthusiastic about is not controlled by white. It's actually contested by black. The black pawns are in fact not terribly weak, given that, for instance, the pawn on g4 that you would normally consider a pawn that would just disappear is being protected already by 2 of black's pieces. And here we're at a key position in which we actually get to see a really, really good illustration of how the dragon often can translate either into a spectacular win for white, where black's king just succumbs to an onslaught, or an endgame win by black, an endgame won often by black when black is down material. It's a bit counterintuitive, but the dragon is an opening in which black can actually look towards an endgame advantage, and the advantage sometimes based on a bit of the chaos of his pawn structure through the game. So let's see what happens here. White plays an interesting move in which he threatens queen and king here with a fork, more or less forcing black to capture here on e6, and then white essentially wins an exchange by trading the queens, picking up this rook in return for the knight that he just gave up. But then black picks up another pawn. We trade off another minor piece. And now we're looking at an endgame that now that the dust has settled, that has black with a bishop and 2 pawns, doubled pawns, we'll concede, but a bishop and 2 pawns for a rook. 3 of his pawns are passed pawns. And so, in fact, black at this point has a significant advantage, because white, it's going to be up to white to try and demonstrate that, yes, they can hold a draw here. And subsequently, black played this ending excellently and was able to convert his passed pawns into a win. Anyway, a game really worth looking at if you're interested in the dragon at all. So that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the round reports. I know I do them just for fun. So, and if you get anything out of them, so much the better. I'll leave links to the tournament pairings sheet, to future events, so on and so forth, all in the video notes, or you can find them on the HCC club page. I hope you enjoy the next rounds, and I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye, everybody.